All right, everyone. This episode I'm really excited for because I have my personal holistic health coach, Ron Oliver, and he's been working with me for, what is it, like 2 years now? I think it's like 2 years. And he has helped me improve my health so much, like it's unreal. When I met this guy, I could only walk like a quarter mile at a time. And now I can walk a mile and a half, even 2 miles nowadays because he's helped me with my health so much. The things that he's having me implement are just simple things. It's not like I'm changing my whole life. It's just simple things. And it's amazing. So I can't wait for this episode because he's going to share a lot of information that most people, especially men, don't know, and I didn't know, and he's helping me with this problem currently. So I'm pretty excited. So without further ado, Ryan, can you kind of tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you, Nick. Thanks for having me on your podcast today. It's a pleasure. Well, everyone, I started out my career at 22 years old. I'm now 58 years old, so you can do the math. I'm doing it a long time. I'm full-time the whole time, and I'm 100% dedicated to the business of holistic health and fitness because to me, it's just a wise way to live. It's a healthy lifestyle, right? Because all you have is your health. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. And I believe wholeheartedly that money without health is poverty. So you really need to have your health because that's the only thing that can give you quality time. So I began my career at Gold's Gym at 22 years old. It was like the mecca of working out in Canada back in the day in Vancouver, British Columbia. Within a couple of years, I discovered that the vast majority of people were not raised like me on whole foods from a garden, on our own farm with our own water from a natural spring. It was, glacier fed. We had our own chickens. We grew everything from scratch. I was eating completely organic, all natural my whole life. Raw milk from the neighbor's farm. That's all I knew. And when I moved to the big city from my family's farm, everybody's eating processed, commercially grown food full of chemicals, poisons, like herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, insecticides, actually sprayed on the food to kill bugs, right? Now, that sounds like maybe a smart idea, but if you don't know about your health, you wouldn't know any better. But if you understand that your immune system is very delicate and your body's depending on numerous types of good bacterium to be healthy, this is a nightmare. Then you got chlorine in the water and fluoride, and the list goes on and on and on. So what I do as a holistic health and fitness expert is I re-educate people first and foremost so they would understand their body. And what has happened in my lifetime from being born in 1968, I've watched the decline of the health of Canadian males and Canadian women and the children also. And it's the same in America. In fact, today we have about 360 million in America. We got 40 million in Canada, right? So that's about 400 million people. There's close to 9 billion people on the planet. That's what we know. Maybe there's more. Who knows? But that's a tiny percentage of the population, yet we are consuming 70% of all pharmaceutical drugs on the earth being manufactured per year. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. We have the worst food in the world in our grocery stores on the shelf. And Canadians and Americans are eating it up like it's Christmas every day. And it's a nightmare problem. We are organic beings, right? Our bodies are designed for real food. The kind of stuff that God put on the earth, every species on the earth that you can look into, from insects to rodents to mammals of any kind, reptiles, birds, fish, they all live according to their God-given instincts. They only eat the food they're designed for. The only animals that eat food that is not healthy are pets and the animals in the zoos. And clearly, if you go back in time and look at pictures of people on the beaches in the 50s and 60s and 70s, Americans and Canadians look like a different species than we see today. Mm-hmm. And this is not because there's something wrong with our genetics or we are some weird anomaly. No, it has got everything to do with what we're drinking and eating. And they've told us so many things that are untrue, like everything in moderation. That's ridiculous. How about a little heroin in moderation, a little crack in moderation? How about a little, fentanyl in moderation? That's just ludicrous, right? So that's not a smart move. And what you don't know won't hurt you. Well, that's not true either. So we need to get re-educated. We cannot be ignorant, because ignorance is not bliss. So what has happened is, fast forward to today, we have America and Canada, the two sickest nations on the earth. We are the weakest, most unhealthy people on the earth. We have the most sickness and disease of all types, from heart disease, diabetes, cancer. The list goes on and on and on. 50 years ago, Nick, we had 1 out of 10,000 children with autism. And that's tragic. Just 1 in 10,000 is tragic. 1 on the planet is tragic. Now it's 1 out of 31, last I checked, just a few months ago. What is going on, right? What is going on? We have the leading cause of death nowadays is sudden deaths. A lot of it is heart-related, and a lot of people know what I'm talking about. So we really got to look at what we're doing, because it makes no sense to spend our hard-earned money to drink and eat things destroying our health. And what has happened to the men? Any of you old enough to remember what I can remember, because you're my age, will know that men were relatively different. They were massively different in every way, even 30, 40 years ago. What has happened, there's been a massive decline in our health, but there's also been a massive decline in the testosterone in males. And there's a major hormone imbalance in women. Women are having a lot of issues with, the menstrual cycle. They're suffering horribly. Then there's after PMS, they have menopause. This is also linked to toxicity and malnutrition.
Uh-huh.
And in males, we have a massive decline in testosterone, to the point where, when I did my research the last couple of months, the latest research on this, I found out some shocking statistics. For example, Canadian and American males have the lowest testosterone on the earth. Even China has higher testosterone levels than Canada and America. Wow, right? That's not good. So we really got to change what we're doing. So we got to look at the cause, and everything is to do with our lifestyle. We're too sedentary. We're not getting enough sunshine. We're not getting enough time on the ground, grounding our bodies. We're eating garbage. We're consuming toxic beverages. We're consuming toxic water. Like, bottled water alone is a nightmare. You got between 110 to 400,000 nanoparticles of microplastics per liter sold. You have between 25 to 65,000 chemicals in the bottle, leaching or shedding into the water from the bottle. And when you get that bottle, it's probably 2 years old, been sitting in a warehouse. So this is out of the question. That's not water, that's poison. So we're drinking ourselves to death. Then you have all these artificial colors, flavors, dyes, and all these other beverages that people are drinking, all of which will never hydrate you, including Gatorade. Gatorade does not hydrate anyone. That's just a scam, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're eating food that was designed and manufactured to last on the shelf for months and months and years. Do you understand that means you cannot digest it? They removed all the enzymes that make food ferment and make it bioavailable nutrition, which brings me to this other part. We got a lack of cellular energy causing low testosterone, 1. Number 2, we have cellular toxicity. And number 3, we have malnutrition, which brings us to this point. You cannot absorb nutrients from foods that are heavily processed or cooked to death. The golden rule is nothing dead can support life. You know that, Nick, because I taught it to you when we met.
Yep.
And so we have people working hard, doing everything they can do to be productive in society, provide for themselves and their families. And they're busy, 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 week by week, month by month, year by year. And they don't have the time to do heavy investigations like I have for 35 plus years. So they're just going with the flow and just doing the best they can. Meanwhile, what they're selling us in the stores is absolute garbage. It is not even food. It's fake food genetically modified. They're doing such insane things to the food. It's amazing to me that we're even still living. There's so much poison in the food. And I know this for a fact, not just from research and the data that I've gathered, but I look at blood under the microscope regularly with my clients. We do live blood morphology analysis. So we're looking at a drop of blood. We're able to see thousands of cells from one drop. And the amount of toxicity we are seeing is astronomical. And the amount of malnutrition we're seeing, even chronic dehydration, is an epidemic, which causes 25 life-threatening diseases. So what's happened is now men today have about a quarter to a third of the amount of testosterone they're supposed to have. This is a massive problem because this is not just an issue for libido, sex drive, or muscle. This is a big problem for mental health, for drive, determination, ambition, to make you a good protector, a good provider for your family. It is a nightmare for men to have low testosterone, as it is for women to have low estrogen and have a hormone imbalance. And if you look at the solution that everybody thinks is a good idea, because it's promoted heavily on the biggest podcast in the world, we got TRT, right? And then you got peptides. And this is not natural, folks. Your body's supposed to manufacture testosterone. Now, I'm going to get real. I'm not bipolar, but I'm going to be frank for a minute. Is that okay, Nick? My name is Ron, but I'm going to be frank. Guys, your testicles are named after testosterone. We're talking about the twins, and they are the factories for testosterone production. All our other organs are inside the body. In the woman, the ovaries make estrogen. For us, it's our testicles. Just call them the factories for testosterone production. It's not just about procreation and sex drive. And if you look at a 50-pound dog, a male dog, and then you look at a 100-pound male dog, you'll notice the 100-pound dog's testicles are twice the size. Then you go look at about a 400-pound boar, and they're 4 times bigger. You go look at an 1,800-pound bull, and then go look at a rhinoceros, full-grown male rhinoceros, and you will see that those testicles, the factories for testosterone, are all relevant to the size of that mammal. So if you're a 200-pound man, your testicles should be twice the size of a 100-pound dog. Literally. And that's what it was back like 50 or 100 years ago for men. Today, there's a massive decline. And when you start taking synthetic TRT and other drugs, whether it be an ointment to put on your skin or a pill or an injection, your body recognizes this intake into the bloodstream of testosterone. And so your factories, your testicles, will slow down even more at producing testosterone, which will eventually lead to impotence. And right now we're talking about how many, between the ages of 30 and up, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, it's about 50% of the males have erectile dysfunction. And I just recently had a client come to me who's only 44, did a tremendous amount of steroids in his time. Plus he partied a lot, got into the wrong crowd, did a ton of cocaine and speed. He did enough drugs in those years from 18 to 35 to kill about a dozen or maybe 24 men. It's enormous amounts of drugs. And when he came to me, his manhood, his testicles had shrunk literally to the size of raisins. And when he said raisins to me, I was like, are you serious? And he says, small raisins. I'm like, wow. And he told me that he was not able to get an erection at all for over a year. And his wife and him, that was not fun for them, right? And he was trying to fix this. And he tried everything. Nothing was working. And once I got him re-educated about what to drink, how to eat, how to cleanse his body, it started coming back, even after that enormous amount of drugs he took. Like, to be very specific, guys, he's an interesting character. And he was putting the ampules from his steroids in a bag, like a big black garbage bag, a full-size kind, the one you use outside for the big garbage can. And from 18 to 35 years old, he filled that bag to the brim, Nick, to the top. That is in a staggering amount of drugs. And so his sex drive was destroyed. He felt like he was 80 years old. Now, it took me 6 months of detoxifying him and teaching him how to eat and everything else to get him to bounce back. But he started feeling better just in 2 weeks. So even if you've done those types of things, and there's lots of guys, millions and millions of men are on TRT right now. And I challenge you, go to drugs.com. Go to drugs.com and punch in testosterone and read the side effects. Read the side effects for Viagra and Cialis and all of these drugs, even the peptides, which are synthetic. I would rather have my own testicles make testosterone for life than do any of that nonsense. And I would rather have my body producing peptides from eating a healthy whole food diet. How about you, Nick?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? I'm
Mhm.
not interested in doing these things because it's short-term gain, long-term pain. And the thing about it is, it really should be about our lives, right? It should be about longevity. What's the point of looking good for a few years or even a decade or two if at the end of it, you have destroyed your body? And we all know that bodybuilders are dropping like flies all the time from taking massive amounts of steroids. So taking a smaller amount for a long time ain't any better, right? It's just a nightmare, and it really bothers me. It concerns me a lot because people are destroying their health because they've been lied to. They've been told that TRT and growth hormone is actually an anti-aging drug. Well, that's an oxymoron. Just go to drugs.com, look up any of these drugs you want, and all the side effects are listed. These are the things that are going to happen. And then this will lead to you needing more and more drugs. It's just not necessary, guys, because you can learn how to get your own body to work properly like it's supposed to. You can naturally get your hormone levels up. Hey, I'm 58 years old. I got a 33-year-old wife. We just had a baby. He's going to be 4 months old on Tuesday next week. Healthy and happy. You don't need these things to be manly. You just got to learn how to hydrate your body, get the toxins out your body, and learn how to eat a healthy, whole food, bioavailable, anabolic diet. And there's ways you can learn to train to stimulate growth hormone as well. And you don't need to spend hours and hours a day working out. Even in 30 minutes, you can do tremendous things to stimulate hormone production. And this is what you need to learn how to do if you want to have a long life, a good life. Does that make sense to you, Nick?
Yeah, for sure. And I know for me, since I started working with you, the first thing you did was teach me about water, and you got me started on drinking healthy water. And that alone helped me so much because it started to detox my body and get all the
It's
shit out.
amazing, right? What
Hmm.
happens when you stop drinking poison?
Yeah, you feel good, like really good. It's
Like,
amazing.
isn't it amazing, Nick, that when you
Yeah,
stop drinking poison, you feel way better?
yeah, it's incredible. Who would have thought?
I mean, it's so strange that when you stop drinking poison, you just feel way better.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you drink a living, bioavailable, antioxidant-rich water that's actually healthy, H2O. See, water is the body's delivery system, and it's supposed to be the primary source of antioxidants. And antioxidants neutralize free radicals, and they eliminate them from the body. And there's a vast contrast between water these days. We have a global drinking water crisis. So the first thing I do with every one of my clients is I re-educate them on water because we really have not been told what we're supposed to know about water. That's number one. And that will alone wipe out 25 life-threatening chronic diseases from the body. Then it's all about understanding there's a massive contrast between consumption and utilization. Now, we've been told we are what we eat. That's very misleading. We are what we consume. We are what we consume. That includes what we look at with our eyes on our smartphones or our televisions or our laptops or tablets. Whatever we're allowing in our being through our eyes is affecting our mindset, and our mindset's everything, isn't it, Nick?
Uh-huh. Yes,
And
it
then
is.
there's the words that come out our mouth. Then there's what we drink and what we eat and the environment we choose to be in and the people we associate with, right? All of these things impact our decision-making, and our decision-making determines the outcome. Does that make sense? But it all starts with the body because that's where you live. Have you ever been able to put your body to the bed because you're tired, then go to your office and work with your mind, and then maybe your spirit goes into the meditation or prayer closet. You ever tried that?
No,
It don't work,
no.
right? So we got to have a holistic approach, and it begins with your body, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have a strong, fit, healthy body, you cannot have a strong, fit, healthy mind. And anyone who tells you different is pulling your leg or misguiding you or lying to you. It's just how it works. You need a healthy, strong, fit body that you have become disciplined to push this body to its limits and make yourself mighty as you can be, as fit as you can be, as strong as you can be. And this will give you such an advantage with your mindset. It'll change your life alone. And then if you learn to hydrate and alkalize your body, detoxify your body, and eat correctly, like, eat real food, human whole foods in the right balance, in a bioavailable form, you can achieve extraordinary health. And you can live for decades longer than the status quo. And it's worth it because you're worth it. Convenience is overrated. And did you know that fast food existed forever? Like, it's been around the whole time. Like, you can't get any faster than a banana or an apple, Bill. You know what I mean? Like, what could be faster than that, Nick?
Nothing. No.
Like, we are drinking and eating ourselves to death in North America. And if you go to Europe, Italy, Greece, you go to Russia, you go to the Middle East, you go to the Asian countries, and humans look radically different. They look way younger for their age than we do. And they don't have nearly the problems that we do because they drink and they eat totally differently than us. So I just encourage you all to think about what we're saying, what we're sharing with you today, because it doesn't make any sense if you really contemplate this with any critical thinking skills to spend your hard-earned money to support companies and brands that make billions and billions and billions of dollars every year by poisoning us with toxic beverages, water, and food. So it makes us unhealthy, weak, sick, fat, and tired, and shortens our lifespan. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Any questions you have for me? Anything else you want to share with me with these people?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should touch on what we're going to talk about on the next episode because we're going to do
Okay.
another one soon. And
Yes, absolutely. So in addition to, testosterone in men, and now this is also important in women. I have a lot of clients that are women, and some of them have no testosterone in them at all. And they're also getting, drugs from the doctors, which are synthetic hormones, which I cannot recommend because the side effects they're published. They're terrible. There's better ways. Okay. So in addition to talking about testosterone and estrogen in the next, podcast, we're going to talk about IGF-1, growth factor, IGF-2. We'll talk about growth hormone, all things that are a massive decline in North Americans and Canadians alike, Canadians and Americans, and all over the world, but especially right here. And this is detrimental to your well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically, and it is shortening your lifespan and weakening your immune system, making it much more difficult, and for some people, absolutely impossible for the body to heal itself, regenerate, rejuvenate, and keep on going like they're supposed to. And did you know this, Nick? Did you know that old age was classified as a disease a long, long time ago?
really?
Yes. And disease is a symptom. I encourage you all to look up disease in a quality dictionary, like Merriam-Webster dictionary. Look up the word disease, read the definition, and you will see that it's nothing more than a symptom. And if you will identify what's causing the symptom and eliminate that, you can eliminate the symptom. And I do know what I'm talking about. I have a 27-year-old son that has not been sick in 25 years because I taught him this from the time he was 2.5 and moved in with me as a full-time caregiver, as a single dad. And I have not been sick in 30 years, people, because we have what's called a functioning immune system. And if you're getting sick regularly or even every few years, your immune system has been compromised and it needs to be given assistance. So again, hydrate, clean, and feed is the principles that we follow. And nothing that can support life is the truth, And there is no science, there's no philosophy, there's nobody that can dispute those facts, those truths. And if you relearn what you need to know about drinking and eating, you can transform your life, including your hormone levels.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I'm looking forward to our next episode. I know it's going to be great. You dropped a lot of bombshells on this episode alone to help people start to think about what they're putting into their body. Trust me, people. Listen to Ron. He knows his stuff. He's helped me tremendously. And I'll be honest, like over the past few years, I'll take your advice for a while and then I'll fall off a little bit. Every time I fall off, I feel like shit. And it's like, okay, I gotta get back on Ron's lifestyle because this isn't working for me. So thank you, Ron, for everything that
My
you've helped me
pleasure.
with. And thank you for helping the listeners because this stuff is so important and nobody takes it seriously enough. So I want to just help more people become aware of this.
And if I may, I would like you all to know where you can go watch a video that we've entitled, An Invitation to Achieve Extraordinary Health and Longevity. It's right on my website. It's right under the podcast, the very first podcast I did with Roy Jones Jr., the boxer. If you go to elitedynamiclife.com, elitedynamiclife.com, right under the video with Roy Jones Jr. and I would highly recommend you watch that. It's very informative. Right below that, I crammed like 30 years of experience, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what I've learned about holistic health and fitness in that 30-minute video, and you will find it very enlightening if you are someone who's committed to transforming your life.
That's for sure. That video is so powerful. I watched it many times. So
Thank you.
I will drop that link to your website in the show notes and everybody can go take a look.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me today, brother.
Yeah, Ron, this was awesome and I can't wait to record the next one.